Hey, this is Bill Leverty of Firehouse, and you're listening to the Classic Rock Station 97.7.
Yeah, this is Jonny DeMartini, and we're backstage live at the Firehouse show here with Bill Leverty. Bill, awesome show tonight.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for joining me. We appreciate this.
Glad to be here.
Bill, Firehouse has been performing together since the early 80s, right? And how hard was it to start out in a place like the Central Atlantic coastal states? Compare that with artists from the same era that came from L.A. and New York.
Actually, it might have been a little easier, really, because there was a very vibrant scene of clubs back in the day there, and there weren't as many bands. There were a few, but I would think that in L.A. it would have been really hard to get a gig or to get any traction because there were so many bands. But in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, that circuit we were doing, there were a handful of bands, and it wasn't like there were 30 bands in every corner like it was in New York and LA. So I think we had that to our advantage, and it made us, I guess, maybe try some things that were a little different because we didn't have as many influences with so many bands in the scene. There were less, so that we had to try to figure out other ways to try to kind of find ourselves musically, I guess.
Okay, now when you guys first started out, your name wasn't Firehouse.
No.
It was White Heat, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was White Heat, and we got our record deal as White Heat, and then our lawyer did a trademark search, and he found out that there were like 10 other bands around the world called White Heat. So we knew there were going to be lots of problems, so we decided to change the name, and Michael came up with the name Firehouse, so we thought that sounded cool, so it stuck.
Oh, cool. Well, I didn't stop you in 1992. You guys won the American Music Award for Best New Hard Rock Metal Band. How was that, beating out such powerhouses as Alice in Chains and Nirvana?
Well, it was actually, one of the highlights of our career. We were all blown away that the fans, liked us that much. But, it all happened so fast that I don't know that we ever really got a chance to really enjoy it, because as soon as we got done, with that, we were back out on the road playing gigs and getting no sleep and working and everything. So that night was sort of like a dream. It came true, but I still, never really pinched myself to be able to tell whether I was awake or not. But, I was meeting all these people that were like heroes of mine that night, and I think that was really the really cool thing was meeting all these people. Winning that award, of course, there was a lot of gratification with that, and it was a great honor to be appreciated by the fans like that. The fact that we were, up against Alice in Chains and Nirvana, I'm not sure that was really anything that really had a huge impact or anything, because those bands are so good and they had such huge success. But I think the fact that we had our record come out a little earlier than theirs did might have been the fact that made us win that. I don't think that if we had come out a year later, we would have won that award, against Nirvana. They changed the music industry.
It's funny, you guys are still around and Kurt's not. So.
Well, yeah. Sorry to say. I mean, he wrote some great stuff. He was a great musician, great artist, and everything. And he was a troubled soul.
Yeah.
And things didn't work out for him. I wish he could have hung in there and gotten some help, because I think he would still be making great music today. But we can still go back and listen to his stuff, and I'm in awe when I listen to his music. It was very, very moving.
That's impressive coming from a guy that. Let's face it, the 80s metal, that was a death nail when Nirvana came on.
Well, and I always looked at it like, that they came out with something very different, and good for them. I mean, they didn't really have any negative vibe towards any of the other bands that I was aware of. I mean, they didn't want to try to end our genre. It's just that the music industry was ready for a change, and they came out with such a cool sound that all the program directors of, not all the radio stations, not yours, obviously, but a lot of the radio stations said, you know, we're not going to play bands that sound like the old classic hard rock kind of sound. We're going to go with a new alternative sort of grunge kind of sound. That's what we want to do. We want to be hip. We want to be on the cutting edge. And, you know, you got to kind of jettison some people. And that's kind of what the industry did. I don't think Nirvana had that intent when they came out. They just wanted to come out with something different, and good for them, they did.
Now you guys, have a huge following over in Europe with the melodic rock bands, and Australia, Asia, places like that. What's the difference in the crowd in Asia versus, here in Iowa? And you said there on your Facebook page, you love to play in Iowa. And CJ even said it during the concert tonight, you love to play in Iowa.
Iowa is just like one of the most rocking states in this country, and I love this country. So, and I don't know what's really different about it. I know that when we're going to Greece, in a couple of weeks, it's a long way to get there. The people are great, the crowds are great. It's a really passionate, their inhibitions, I think, might be a little less. Their love for music is, I wouldn't say more, I'd just say it's kind of different. But here in Iowa and in the Midwest in general, we had some success back in 1990 through 93 or whatever, and it stuck. And so fortunately, we can still do a lot of gigs in the Midwest, and Iowa is one of our top 3 strongest states in the country. So we play here more than probably anywhere else.
Yeah, I've noticed that. You guys mentioned tonight during the concert that you were working on a new album. It's going to be your 20th year since Firehouse hit it big. What are we going to hear from that?
Well, we're definitely going to re-record a lot of our old songs that were either the hits or some obscure songs that were album tracks that were songs that people know us for. Whether or not we do any new songs and add them to this particular recording, we don't know yet, but we're definitely going to record these. And then we'll go to the next page of this book we're kind of writing. But I don't know. We definitely are going to do the re-records of the old songs and kind of do them the way we do them live, produce them with more of a in-your-face kind of sound, and
so updated a little bit.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that I'll go back and listen to the recordings that we did back in 1990, and I will listen to them, and I'll go, wow, I didn't know I played them like that. I'm playing things a lot differently now, and I think it's just sort of a natural way of sort of evolving. And so we're going to kind of let people hear the way we're playing them now.
Cool. Okay, Bill, thanks so much for taking time to speak with me tonight.
My pleasure.
I know that you could have taken time with any number of other people today. Why'd you pick me?
Well, basically because you're Jonny DeMartini and I'm not.
That's good. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.